Hello, gentle viewers. This is Indian, welcoming you back to Tabletop Simulator with the board game Watergate by Matthias Kramer. Watergate is a lovely two-player game, which is basically a tug-of-war, and this game is about the Watergate scandal that eventually took down Richard Nixon's presidency. The Watergate is the name of a hotel in Washington, D.C., that the Democratic National Committee was using for the 1972 election. Nixon, through several intermediaries, tried to basically steal some of their information that they kept at the Watergate Hotel, and he got caught. Rather, the people that did the crime got caught, and he resigned the presidency out of disgrace. In this particular instance, though, this is a tug-of-war game between the editor of the Washington Post and Richard Nixon, where each player has their own objective. Nixon wants 5 of these momentum tokens, look a little bit like sausages. Once he gets 5, he wins the game at the end of his turn. The editor, while the momentum tokens make him powerful and give him some pretty cool abilities, he doesn't really care so much about that. He is trying to draw connections between 2 informants and Nixon by placing tiles on the board. If he can do that before the Nixon player gets 5 momentum markers, the editor wins the game. Otherwise, Nixon wins the game. If for some reason you run out of momentum markers, the game would be considered a tie, but that basically counts as Nixon making it to the end of his term, and he wins the game. The only reason a momentum marker gets removed, by the way, is if the Washington Post editor already has all 5 of these. So that's what you're doing every turn. We are ready to go. So the first thing that happens is we draw our cards. Each of us has our own deck. There is one card that is actually duplicated. It's called the Gambit. And if it comes up, I'll talk about it and why it's important. But I'm going to draw 5 cards, because the editor always starts with the initiative. He also goes first, by the way. Nixon draws 4, but he gets a very powerful ability. He gets to look at the first 3 tokens in the evidence bag, and he puts them out on the board. He's the only one who knows what color they are. So in this case, there's a blue, a yellow, and a yellow-green. So he knows what these are, and he can look at them anytime he wants. The editor only gets to find out if something flips them up or if he guesses correctly. Okie dokie. So, every card in the game has 2 functions. First, the function of the event. And many, but not all, of the cards will be removed from the game once you play them as events. I am not going to delete the cards because of this specific event, which lets me play a card that's been removed from the game again, which is very powerful, which is why these lovely bags exist. Whenever a card gets removed, you're supposed to chuck it in the bag. You can also use them in the top right to either move a token or an evidence token toward you that many spaces. We are pretty lucky in that we start the game with 2 different possibilities to get our first informant. Either Alfred Baldwin or Alexander Butterfield. The Alfred Baldwin card is a little bit less powerful. It's not worth 4, it's worth 3. And most importantly, I only get to move a token 1 step. So I'm going to go ahead and play Alfred Baldwin as an event. Now, there are reaction events, which are very powerful. And I'm going to quickly check and see if the Nixon player has one. Here's the Gambit card. I will talk about that in a minute. On Nixon's turn. So he can't stop me. I take the Alfred Baldwin tile and I place it in the spot on the board. And now all I need to do is place 3 yellow evidence tokens, and I'm halfway through winning the game. Oh, the plumbers, by the way, are the people who actually did the robbery. Or the attempted robbery, anyway. So that is done, and I get to pull either the initiative token or the momentum one step closer to me. I don't want Nixon getting this if I can stop him. And then this gets removed from the game. Now, the Gambit is potentially the most powerful card in the game because once something gets to the number 5 space, it's taken off the board. They've won it. It can't be moved again. And this instantly claims a momentum token. And I can also nuke a conspirator. But I really don't want to do that. This is a powerful card, and you only ever get to play it once. Or have to torch a conspirator in order to play it again. Instead, I don't care as much about McCord if he's already got Baldwin. But I definitely don't want him being able to get double duty, where it only take him 5 tokens instead of the full 6. So I'm going to play James McCord. And I put McCord on the board face down. I've paid him off. I've done something to ensure that he won't testify against me. And then he gets to move initiative or momentum 2 steps, and he'll just move it 2 steps. So this card is also removed from the game. I'm gonna play Carl Bernstein, one of the journalists at the Washington Post, and I'm gonna say I would like to move a yellow token. And Nixon then gets to look at the tiles again, unless he remembers. He definitely doesn't want to do the yellow-green one, because that one's very easy to move. He's like, "You got me, hippie." And he reveals this yellow tile. And the Washington Post player then gets to pull it 2 spaces towards him. He is on his way to claiming his first piece of evidence. Nixon is going to drop the Rosemary Woods bombshell just to keep her from testifying against him. He's going to push the momentum token another closer to him, and then he gets to place Rosemary Woods on the board face down. And then this card is removed from the game. Right now, we're in a bit of a pickle. We could just pull this yellow 1 step closer to us. Green doesn't have a huge amount of value to us right now, but there's nothing that says we can't play the token anyway. But Alexander Butterfield as an informant is now incredibly important to us. So we're going to go ahead and play this card. He gets pinned face up. And we're going to pull the momentum token back to the center. And this gets removed from the game. So we now have 2 of the conspirators flipped over, and we can start trying to build our case by connecting Nixon to Butterfield and Baldwin. He's going to play Gordon Liddy. And the Nixon player gets to take any face-up token and just put it right back in the bag. And that's very frustrating for the Washington Post player who really wants that yellow token, but is now also happy about a green token. So he's going to say, that's okay. Is there a green token? And Nixon, who knows full well that there is a green token. Is there a straight green, or is it just... No, the other one's a blue. Okay. So he flips up the yellow-green token, and the Washington Post's editor gets to move it 2 spaces towards them. Nixon's got this Gambit card, and he is really kind of stuck. He wants that momentum token. He wants it in the worst way. And he knows because it's yellow or green, which means either one of them could move it. It's pretty unlikely that there's going to be a chance. Oh, it goes back to the supply. Okay. He can only move something 2 spaces. He could claim the initiative for next round. That's always valuable. He could grab the momentum token, but he'd have to know that the Washington Post player would feel pretty happy about giving up 1 momentum token to get 2 tiles. And he gets to play last. But the longer the game goes, the more it tends to favor the editor. So Nixon's going to go and play Gambit as a regular movement. He's going to pull the momentum token 2 towards him. Now, what we know, but what the Washington Post player doesn't know, is that this last tile is blue. But because there's already a yellow tile on the board, he can't move it again. Like, he could move the tile, but there wouldn't be any point. He can't stop Nixon from getting the momentum token. He's going to use this event, not as an event, but to go ahead and pull the initiative token over. And that concludes our first turn, and we follow this very handy at the end of the turn step. So, first thing that happens, anything that was on the 0 space track immediately goes back in the bag. And we missed the bag. And we're going to shuffle that up. Next, we award the initiative token. I already had it, so I just keep it, and it goes back to the center. Next, a momentum token. This goes to Nixon. He is now 1/5 of the way to victory. And then last but not least, we award... we put a new momentum token out, sorry. And then we award any tiles. I get this tile, and I can place it on any green or any yellow. I'm going to place it right here. And the reason that you always want to place it close to these, because otherwise it only takes 2 tiles, and then your conspirator is useless. If you place it closer to the middle, you can always go around anything that's blocking it. So that concludes our very first turn, and now we start our second turn. 5 cards for the Post, 4 for Nixon, and we'll just shake this up and draw 3 tokens. We've got 2 yellows and a blue. So the Washington Post player, if he wants to move a green, is going to be sorely disappointed. Do we have any reaction cards this time? We do. So I can block any of the editor's event by using John Mitchell, which is very, very powerful. All right. I can do a random pull. That's pretty handy. I can't recruit Rosemary Woods, right? Because she's already been flipped over down. The Watergate Complex card is pretty powerful, but I don't want to play it right now. I do have a reaction of my own. And, okay. This is a very good card for a green hand. And so I'm going to do this even though it's obvious that I know something because I'm playing the Nixon player too. I'm going to say I'd like to move a green token. And Nixon says, Sorry, hippie, you're out of luck. Because remember, yellow, yellow, blue. So I know that there are no green tokens left, which is good to know. And I get to pull a token instead, the momentum or initiative. I want that momentum token. I don't want Nixon to have two of them right away. And now it is Nixon's turn. What does this do? That's quite a nice card, actually. That's quite powerful, actually. Howard Hunt's even better, arguably. So we're going to do that. We're going to play Howard Hunt. So I pull the momentum 2 towards me. And then I get to play another card out of my deck. So I just flip it over. I can play it as an event or to move stuff. I can't play this as an event. It's a great card, but I can't play it as an event. I'm going to pull it to move the momentum token 2 towards me. And that is such a good one. The Pentagon Papers. So is the Watergate complex, but I only want to do it after I've revealed a token. I like this card as a reaction, but I need to find out if there is a blue token just so I can get it flipped up so that I can then play the Watergate complex card. So I'm going to play Follow the Money, and I'm going to say, is there any blue tokens? And at this point, Nixon begrudgingly reveals that there is indeed a blue token, and I get to pull it 3 towards me. Butterfield is useless to me. So I'm going to go ahead and make this real easy on myself. I'm going to play Alexander Butterfield. And I get the momentum token. Let me just double check that when something hits a 5, it is no longer movable, but I'm pretty sure that is the case. Yep, you gain it right away. So basically, this means the momentum marker just goes right to the Nixon card, and it's no longer in play. And so I am feeling pretty excited as the editor player, because I've got this amazing card right here. So I'm going to drop this bombshell, the Watergate complex. And then Nixon says, not so fast. And plays his John Mitchell. This blocks the event, and it goes into the discard pile. And that's a really good play of that card, and it really makes me sad that I didn't get to play that. I'm going to go ahead and play the Pentagon Papers, and this lets me grab something out of the bag and put it face up. And it's a green. I don't get to use the momentum boost, but I am now only 1 step away from connecting someone to Nixon. But I know that there is no other green one on this board, unfortunately. I'm going to go ahead and play Bob Haldeman here, which pulls every token by 1. Now, there is a downside to this. I believe if a Nixon player ever moves a token, it has to be flipped face up. Let me look up Haldeman here. I'm just checking something right now. So my question right now is, do I have to flip them face up if an event moves them? With the color shown on your card, it doesn't say that about an event. It's not clear, so I'm just going to go ahead and say that it should be flipped up because it doesn't say move a face down necessarily. So he has to flip them both up, and we see that they're both yellow. Which isn't the biggest deal. This is pretty irritating for this particular player. I'm going to play it, and I'm going to take the initiative token again, just because I need something out of this. So, another round has concluded. The first thing that happens, anything that's on the 0 track goes back in the bag. Initiative token goes to me. Momentum token's already been awarded. We put a new momentum out. So, because I win this one, I get to place it on the board here. I guess I'll put it here. And then I move the momentum one towards me. But Nixon gets to place the 2 yellows. And he gets to place them face down. And that is a very bad move for me. Because he's going to do this and this. And then it instantly moves 2 towards him. So now Baldwin is utterly useless to me until I can break this up. And there's cards that I have that can let me do that for sure. Alright, we are going to draw 5. Nixon draws 4. And we get shake, shake, shake. 3 evidence tokens. 2 yellows and a green. And I'm probably, if I'm a bad player of this game, I'm probably chortling because the yellows are totally useless to him. Because right now, unless they either get something that flips over McCord, or something that can remove one of these, or flip it over themselves, there's not a lot that can be done here. So let's see here. I have Bob Woodward. I can block a conspirator and remove it from the game. That's pretty powerful. This is an important one, but not yet. I'm going to go ahead and play John Dean. And I don't think the Nixon player has John Mitchell again yet. He doesn't have any reactions, so he just accepts it. James Dean is going to come over here. And then I get to move the initiative momentum 1 step. I'm going to put the momentum back in the center. And then this gets removed from the game. A decent opening play. Getting Martha Mitchell will be pretty good right now. Both because it moves the momentum token 2 steps, but also because it cuts off another route for blue, and one that's already been wasted. So I'm going to go ahead and play Martha Mitchell. And she gets placed face down. Now, please note, I can only play that card to stop a conspirator. The one that's in my hand. So I just kind of uselessly watch as the momentum marker gets closer to him. The Nixon player. Back to me. as the post editor. I want another green in the worst way, if I can manage it. He's only got 3 cards left. One of them might be a conspirator. So I'm going to use Bob Woodward instead. Oh, that's actually better to play Bob Woodward. I'm going to play Bob Woodward. And I get to pull an evidence card out of the bag. And it goes face up on my side of the track. I'm going to pull the momentum back into the middle. Blocking Dean would be really great right now, but again, cutting off Hugh Sloan is even better. So I'm going to play Secure the Support of Hugh Sloan, and I get to move the momentum token back towards me, and this gets played face down. So all of the conspirators are now somehow involved in the game, so these cards become a lot less useful as their printed ability. Now I do have a sneaker weapon. I have Deep Throat, which lets me pull a face down informant and put them back into play. But I don't have anything to put someone into play, and I'm really kind of concerned about that. I know that there's a yellow out here already. I really want to try to move a green if I can, because then I can actually make a connection. So I'm going to play Mass Demonstrations, and I'm going to say I'd like to move a green token. And there is one, so it gets moved 1 space towards the Washington Post player. And I would love to play The President Speaks. I really would, but I've only got 1 chance to move a green token. If he places this green token, he basically is halfway to winning the game. So I'm going to instantly play this card just to pull this back to the center. Now, if I still had my reaction, this would be a great time to play it, but I don't have it. So, however, I'm going to play Who is Paying the Lawyers as an event. I active initiative 2 steps. Up to 2 of these 1 step, and the momentum token 1 step. And this then lets me get the green card, the green tile, unless Nixon has some way to stop me from doing it, which we don't actually know. But it turns out Nixon actually can't stop me, because his last thing here is a 3. And he's just going to go ahead and play this to go ahead and pull the momentum 3 over to him. Playing this in event is not super helpful, actually. I've already got 3 potential informants. Admittedly, I can only use 2 of them very effectively. I can't keep him from getting the momentum token. And I can't use this to ask if there's another yellow. So I might as well just guarantee myself. No. I do have that 1 event that lets me replay a removed event. So I'm going to go ahead and play Deep Throat. And I'm going to pull Rosemary Woods off. And she's now back in the supply. And I get to move initiative to 3 steps, which lets me claim it. So I just instantly win the initiative. Hooray. Okay. Round over. Anything on the 0 goes back in the bag. 1, 2. Momentum token gets awarded to Nixon. He's only 2 turns away from victory. A new momentum token comes out. And this one is going to start off 2 closer to me because there's 2 tiles on my side with these little red numbers. I'm going to put this here. I've already made 1 connection. I'm going to put this one here by James Dean. Or John Dean, rather. James Dean is the sausage guy. Or the actor guy. I am 2 tiles away from winning the game as the editor. And Nixon needs to draw this out as long as he can. He's going to be going hard for momentum tokens, to be sure. All 5 cards that are left. You get 4. If I am Nixon, I am hoping that the only tokens I draw are green, because green is not going to help the other player at this point. It's a blue-green, a blue-green, and a green. The Nixon player didn't think to ask that they weren't blue and green. He just asked for them all to be green, which they technically are. Which they technically are. So, as the editor, I have a very obvious choice to make. It's a no-brainer play. And there's really nothing that the Nixon player can do to stop me. I'm going to play James McCord, and I'm going to ask the Nixon player if there's a yellow token. And he's going to say no, because there aren't any. As we know. I'm just going to pull the momentum token over to here, and it immediately gets put on my board. And that is a deadly first card. And I know that the other cards are either green or blue, which, you know, is fine. Yeah, this is so important to play this card right now. I can claim an evidence token. I kind of wish I had a yellow one right now, which I don't. But I at least have a green one. Or a blue one, so I could put it there. And then it just ends the round. Which actually gives Nixon the initiative, which he's never had all game. So he instantly plays Cancer on the presidency. Round over. And he gets to move an evidence token 3 steps. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3... It gets revealed, and then the round just ends. So everything else gets discarded. That's a pretty gnarly trick, especially because I was sitting here with a handful of blue cards I was hoping to use, but oh well. That's the way life is sometimes. Now, the initiative token goes to whoever is on the... whoever's side it's on. But it's on the 0 space. It actually goes to the person who doesn't have initiative at the moment. So for the first time in the game, Nixon takes the initiative. A new momentum marker comes out. Nixon gets this, and he's going to play it face down right here. And that is it for the round. So, he gets to shuffle his deck. But he actually draws second now. The Nixon player gets to draw first. First, he gets the 3 cards remaining in the deck. He flips over the last ones, drops them, shuffles them, and draws 2. He did not get Gambit. That's kind of sad, but that's alright. So there's a green and yellow, a blue, and a blue. And then we switch to the Washington Post player, and they're going to draw their 4 cards this time. And then any reaction events? No. This would be a great time to have Gambit, but he doesn't. John Ehrlichman would be a great opening card. And then play Brilliant Mood on their next one? Yeah, we're going to do that. So I get to move the initiative and the momentum 2 steps each towards me. And I get to pick the one I want, and I definitely don't want him getting this yellow-green one. So this is going back in the bag. Oh, this card should have been removed from the game because I used it. So that goes in there, and I'm going to draw another card. Sorry about that. I do have a reaction. I can block a conspirator. Well, it's my own fault. I'm going to go ahead and play Bob Woodward as an event. And I'm going to pull the momentum 2 over, and then I get to pull one out of the bag. And the reason I'm shuffling it, by the way, is otherwise the one that gets put in last is the one that's on top, because it's like a deck of cards almost. So I'm going to flip that up, and it's on this side. This blue-yellow one is extremely sexy, and I definitely want to get my hands on that if I can manage it. Alright. He's going to play a Brilliant Mind for the rest of the game, for the rest of this turn. You cannot play events as the editor. And that definitely stinks. Getting a green one wouldn't help him. He really wants a blue or a yellow. So he's going to play Martha Mitchell as just to move tokens. Oh, if I could keep him from getting this. But I don't have my usual luck, which is that I am guaranteed to... Yeah, I'm going to play that card. I'm going to pull this to the 5. It just stops and goes right onto the board. If I can get another yellow token, I win the game. That's what it comes down to right now. If I move the evidence tokens, they get flipped. None of these cards are that great. I'm going to play this to move the momentum token. I'll go back into the discard pile, please. 2. And here's the thing. I am so close to winning this game, I can taste it if I get really lucky here. So I'm going to play this and ask, is there a yellow token? And Nixon says, sorry, buddy, you're out of luck. And then I say, that's okay, I'll just take the momentum token, 2 spaces. This is definitely the best card to end with, unless he's got a really big one. I'm going to take the presidential election event, but I'm going to play it to move a blue token. And I don't mind revealing it because I know that they don't really care about blue at this point. And I'm going to spend my last card here to pull this 2 towards me. The Nixon player gets to play last. And he plays this as an event, the third Bright Burglary attempt. Which puts one evidence token back to the 0, but most importantly, it brings a momentum token back to my side. So, first thing we do is we award the initiative token. Oh no, sorry, this goes back to the bag. Initiative stays with Nixon. Momentum token is taken by Nixon. And this now gets pinned on the board upside down. Flipped over. I'm going to put it here. And then we draw. I'm going to be totally honest with you. If Nixon draws the Gambit card, the game is over. And Nixon wins. So we made the right call not to play Gambit when we got it. And I think I said earlier in the video that the Gambit card is held by both sides. It's actually just Nixon. If we don't draw that particular card, we did not get the Gambit. That's interesting. I can block an event, though. Yeah. I should not have drawn cards yet. I should have instead put out a new momentum marker first. There we go. I get to draw 4 cards. And then as Nixon, I didn't get the insta-win card, but I've still got a very powerful card. And this Howard Hunt card, if I get lucky, there's a 1 in 5 chance I pull the Gambit. That's an instant win. But I'm really hoping that we do not draw a yellow token. That's green. That's blue. That's blue. And Nixon's going to play his first card. He's going to play Howard Hunt. And I don't think I have the Block a Conspirator card anymore. I don't. And this is all about hoping we draw the Gambit. We drew the Gambit. Removed from the game. The Nixon player pulls out a victory. And that's Watergate, my friends. We got some really lucky draws from the tile bag as Nixon. Enough to basically stop the other player from winning. And this move here was inspired. We cut off Baldwin, who the editor got very early. And they did successfully draw 1 connection to Butterfield, but they were never able to make the second connection. Because they didn't get a yellow tile. So yeah, I know it's at end of the turn earlier. This is end of your term. It's actually an instant win. So there we go. Nixon evaded the scandal, made it to the end of his term. Maybe they found out afterwards, but he doesn't really care. And the game is over. I hope you guys enjoyed Watergate. Very fun little 2-player game. Very balanced. I don't know, it seemed like the editor had a lot of trouble in this game, and they did. But it's not because Nixon had better cards. It's because the tiles that the Redditor player wanted just weren't coming out of the bag. I mean, there are tons of yellow tiles in here. There's more yellow tiles than you can shake a stick at, and they just weren't coming out of the bag. But this game could very much have gone either way. It very much could have gone either way. There's a missing momentum token. There should be 10. But there are only 9 in the game. No, there's only 9. There you go. But yeah. It was Nixon masterfully doing everything he could to get the momentum token. And then lucking out with a draw from the evidence bag. That's what happened. So, thank you very much for watching. Next week, we're going to be playing Brass Birmingham. One of my all-time favorite economic games. And if you like Tiny Epic Galaxies last week, and you'll be watching this quite a bit in the future, but we actually got 3 more Tiny Epic games today at the local board game store. We got Tiny Epic Dinosaurs, Tiny Epic Western, and Tiny Epic Defenders. So that'll be a lot of fun. Until next time, though, this has been Avindian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.